This week on HomeKit News, the Airversa Humelle Smart Humidifier with Thread. Welcome back everybody. Today we're looking at another world first, the Humelle Smart Humidifier from Airversa, and if you recognise that name, they also make the first and only thread-enabled air purifier, the Purell. Let's have a quick look at the features of the Humelle or the AH1. Of course, it works with Apple Home. It has auto humidity functionality, a smart ring light, which we'll have a look at later, touch sensitive buttons, sleep mode, scheduling options, data tracking for humidity and temperature, and more. It has a powerful mist producing fan, a large 5.5 litre water tank, dual adjustable mist streams, an essential oil tray, and due to these features it's suitable for large rooms and is also BPA free, which offers comfort for those concerned about chemicals in plastic. Like the company's air purifier, this also uses Thread, although it's not Matter compatible, so it'll only work with Apple Home. So what comes in this large box? You get a standard power brick with a coaxial port on one end, a brush to clean most of the removable parts, a couple of aroma pads which we'll look at more closely in a bit, a manual in English which also comes with a HomeKit QR code, and finally the humidifier itself. The AH1 is a fraction over 9.5 inches in diameter and just under 10.5 inches tall. The water tank holds up to 1.45 US gallons and can run continuously for up to 60 hours depending on the mist mode. The front has 2 buttons and 3 LEDs. The buttons control the LED ring and the mist levels, whilst the LEDs can indicate a variety of states. The rear of the unit is home to a coaxial port for the power supply, the temperature and humidity sensors, and another instance of the HomeKit code. At present, the water tank for the Humelle is available in just pebble grey, as seen in this video, as well as crystal clear. Later in the year, they'll release a model in Arctic blue. I'm told these tanks should be available to purchase separately too. Okay, so let's break down the parts, starting at the top where you have a removable and adjustable mist nozzle that hides a carry handle. Once removed, you can safely remove the water tank from the base water chamber. Inside this chamber is a nebulizer that breaks the water up into a mist. There's a plastic hoop that tells the device when the water is low, and then there's a plastic tray to hold the aroma pads, which you use to absorb essential oils. The fan blows over the oils, releasing the aroma along with the stream, so you don't actually add the oils to the water tank. To fill the tank, you have to remove the large water tank cap and then of course pour in the water. It's wise to ensure you only use distilled, demineralized or purified water if at all possible. Once the tank is full, you place it back onto the lower chamber. Now it'll only fit in one position as shown with the arrows on the back. The humidity button on the front allows you to cycle through 3 speeds. One of those is auto, which will of course only start if the target humidity is higher than the existing humidity in the room. You also have medium and maximum modes, with medium set at 6 on a scale of 1 to 10, with maximum being 10 of course. If you press auto and the humidity level is higher than the target level, then the device will just turn off. I'll just flip the AH1 upside down so we can have a quick look at the multicolour LED ring. Pressing the LED button cycles through various animated themes, which I'll look at in a bit. So what competition is there for HomeKit compatible smart humidifiers at present? Not a lot it seems. We have the Vocalink Mistflow, which is looking a little bit dated now and has a water tank less than half that of the Humelle. We also have the SmartMe Rainforest humidifier, which I recently reviewed, which looks amazing but still only has a 3 litre water tank. It should be noted that the SmartMe also uses a different form of humidification from the other two. Starting in Apple Home first, and both sensors are exposed to HomeKit, which is great, with separate tiles for the LED ring and the humidifier. You can control the power and target humidity in the settings, and you can also have access to the fan speed. When it comes to the LED ring, as standard for HomeKit, you can only choose solid colours, but luckily there are ways around this, which we'll talk about later. Swiftly moving on to the Sleekpoint app now, and you get access to plenty of options, including manual, auto and sleep modes, as well as a dial to fine-tune the fan speed. There's also a timer option along with various other options in the settings like sense boost or the option to turn off the beep sound that the device makes. Next, back to the LED ring options in the Sleekpoint app, and the multicolour scenes are broken down into different categories. Constant is just a single light, but once selected I get options for the colour and brightness. You can select a colour from the wheel just by rotating it and adjusting the saturation, but you can also choose a specific colour based on the RGB sliders or even enter a hexadecimal number 2. The relative humidity preset will change the colour of the LED ring based on the current humidity levels in your room. So as it's 60% humidity right now, the light is blue. Scrolling further down, I'll select the wheel preset, and as you can see, it breaks the ring into 4 sections whilst also rotating. The option in this case offers adjustments to the rotation speed, but also the direction of the rotation. You can also change the 2 colours for this particular pattern. And lastly, I'll choose the chaser preset, and once again you get some slightly different options to choose from, which includes the overall brightness, the rotation speed, as well as how long the line of LEDs is for this particular pattern. Once again, you can choose or you can customize your own colors, and in this case there are already 7 colors that it cycles through, which you can add to with a total of 11 colors of your choice. You can also break it down to as few colors as you want, so I can just reduce it to cycling through 3 colors in this instance. That's not all for the LED ring, so we'll come back to that in a bit. One thing to note with humidifiers that use a nebulizer is that they do trigger PM2.5 sensors. Now, from what I've read, the mist itself doesn't contain any harmful particulate matter, but if there is any in your home, this mist becomes a delivery system for those particles, which is then more readily picked up by your PM2.5 sensor. So if you rely on these sensors for automations, you might want to think about placement options or even set timers to disable automations when the AH1 is running. I'm back in the Sleekpoint app for the last time again with the LED ring section to hand. Now if you look at my favourite section, you can see in total there are 10 or 9 if you don't include the first RT humidity option. So constant in this case is number 1 and gradient is number 9. I'll hop over to the controller for HomeKit app now and go to the test room where the humidifier is set up. Then tap on it and you'll see a series of settings. In the Humelle light setting, you can see an option labelled custom, which essentially correlates to the favourites in the Sleekpoint app. So if I manually tap in number 1, the constant preset automatically becomes active. Back in the Sleekpoint app, the 8th preset is called police. So I'll go back into controller and tap in the custom section, the number 8, and we now have the police preset triggered. I'll now go into Apple Home and go to the test room, and you can already see the police preset is listed at the top. Just to show that it works, I'll go in and change the ring light to a few different solid colours. Once I select the police scene, the multicolour preset is able to be triggered, which can be used in automations directly within the Home app. On to noise levels, and I've got this sound meter here at roughly 20 inches away from the Humelle, and at its highest fan speed the Humelle is coming in at around 47 dB. If I drop to the lowest sleep mode listed as whisper, it gets to around 37 dB, which is almost the same level as the background noise in this room anyway. Finally, to our pros and cons section, so if you're still here, give yourself a pat on the back. So at the risk of repeating myself, Thread devices are always welcome additions to my smart home, and being able to replace the old Vocalink flowerbud with Wi-Fi is also a plus. I think the design is stunning, although I'm not sure everyone would like it. I do like that you're able to see the water in front of you though. The biggest complaints I've heard for diffusers and humidifiers is the constant need to refill them, but with a 5.5 litre water tank, this is less of an issue. I should state that I haven't shown any tests in terms of humidification, as where I live it's very humid at present anyway, so any tests would be heavily skewed, and I want to be upfront about that, although the tests I did perform definitely showed it to work as expected. Now, from my observations, this can reach super low levels in terms of noise, especially with the whisper option. The LED ring might seem like a gimmick, but at its basic level, in the way that it reflects the humidity levels in your room with different colours, is great. But with the option to export animated themes to HomeKit, it could still be quite handy and interesting. The only small word of caution is regarding nebulizers inadvertently triggering PM2.5 sensors, but you should be able to work around that. So that's our look at the world's first and only thread-enabled humidifier. Is this something that could replace an existing device in your home? And what do you think of the LED ring? Drop your thoughts and comments below. If you got this far, chances are you enjoyed this video, so please like, share and subscribe as normal. Until the next time, stay safe. And as Peter Ustinov once said, life is unfair, but remember, sometimes it is unfair in your favour.